Hello, everyone, and welcome to this session where we're going to be breaking down the architecture of an internal developer platform, or an IDP, as it's most commonly known. My name is Pat Morris. I'm a principal DevOps engineer at RiverSafe, and today I'm joined by my colleague Mo Razuli, who's also a DevOps engineer, who will walk us through an IDP architecture in more detail. So whether you're kind of new to IDPs, already familiar with them, this walkthrough will hopefully give you a kind of deeper understanding of how an IDP works in practice. So yeah, let's get started. Go ahead, Mo. Kick us off with the start.
So this IDP diagram is a high-level overview of an IDP we help one of our clients build.
Okay.
It's obviously a lot more complex, but this is a high-level overview of it, and I'm gonna walk through each step, and then we can discuss each component in more details.
Makes sense. There's some bits, sorry to interrupt you there. Some bits are obviously self-explanatory, right? So we can maybe spend more time on the bits that might not make sense to the viewer. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So as you can see, every IDPs, it starts with a developer committing code, then it goes to it will trigger a CI pipeline that builds a code, tests the code, and packages it. Then that is pushed into a container registry.
Understood,
and then for example, in this one, we have an IDP engine which sits between Argo CD and CI pipeline.
Okay.
Yeah,
so I was just going to pause you there for a second. So this IDP engine, what is that, and what role does it play in this architecture diagram?
So essentially it's an orchestrator.
Okay.
So it sits there between Argo CD and the CI pipeline. It's triggered by the CI pipeline when there's a new build.
Okay.
And it's packaged and it's pushed to the registry. It triggers the engine. IDP engine will take that build, like the image tag of that application, and it will update it in the cluster configuration repository.
Okay.
Then Argo CD listens to that repository and it sees that the desired state has changed.
Understood.
And then it will take that and deploy that application.
Gotcha. Okay. So so kind of going back to the IDP engine then, just to kind of clarify that. So this isn't an off-the-shelf solution, right? This is something that you guys developed as a custom-built solution.
Yeah, essentially it's a custom-built API.
Okay.
That was built for the client, and it caters for more complex requirements.
Okay.
Because Argo CD doesn't have a native way of promoting, application deployment from like one environment to the next in like a sequential manner.
Okay.
And safely. So this IDP engine will take like, for example, an image tag for dev, right? For that for an application, it will deploy that, and then once that's deployed and the application status is healthy and is synced, then Argo CD would send notification to IDP engine to say that it's been deployed, and then the IDP engine would go and deploy that in production environment.
Understood.
And then once that's deployed, it will send Slack notification to teams.
Okay.
So essentially that's how it kind of works.
Gotcha. Cool. And just one more question on the IDP engine. So if our viewers out there don't have the capabilities to build an IDP engine, what can they do? What can they use instead? Is there an open source solution available that they can leverage?
Like I said, it's for more complex requirement, which essentially for the client, but there's other solutions like Argo workflows.
Okay.
Which you can use. It does the same thing, but again, like it's not it won't cater for more complex requirements.
Understood. Okay, fine.
But yeah, you can use open source solutions as well.
Great. Okay, cool. So let's maybe focus a little bit on Argo CD. So that's kind of front and center of the IDP solution here. So what is it? Can you maybe talk a little bit about the GitOps approach and how Argo CD helps with that?
Yeah, Argo CD is now the tool that everyone uses. It's open source.
Yeah.
It has rich features that it helps developers deploy faster, basically.
Okay.
But you can use alternative tools as well. There are other tools like Flux CD. It's more lightweight. If if you don't have a complex requirement, you can use Flux CD.
Cool.
And I also came up across a new tool. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called Spinnaker.
I think that's been around for a
Yeah,
little while.
yeah,
I've not used it myself.
yeah. I only like recently looked at it, and it's very rich in feature. It has like
Okay.
built-in security like features like scanning um, images before deploying and like all sorts. But in this obviously architecture diagram, it's Argo CD, which is the main tool
Understood.
that we've used.
Good stuff. Right. Thank you very much, Mo. So I guess my next question is, how does the IDP handle infrastructure provisioning? Is that all kind of automated end to end?
Yeah, like if you see in this in this diagram we have crossplane.
Okay.
So infrastructure provisioning is done via crossplane, and crossplane itself and its infra catalogs are installed as add-ons within the cluster.
Okay.
So you can build infra catalog, which is like, let's say, equivalent to Terraform modules, right?
Right. Okay.
And so these infra catalogs are built, or like the code, and they are installed in the cluster and, as add-ons, and they come as part of the IDP as a package.
Understood. So
Yeah,
when someone deploys a new Kubernetes cluster, these add-ons would just be part and parcel of that cluster every time
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah,
provisioned. Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
And you can customize them as well if you want.
Okay.
So if you need to contribute to a new infra catalog,
Yeah.
you have boilerplates provided by the IDP, and you just add your business logic there. So
Understood. Okay.
it's very easy and efficient way in a standard way you can provision your resources
Okay.
basically.
So why did you use Crossplane as opposed to something like Terraform, for example?
I mean, Terraform hasn't fit like very well with the GitOps like approach,
Understood.
isn't
Okay.
it?
Okay.
So, and Crossplane is Kubernetes native tool,
Yeah.
and it's essentially your infrastructure is treated like the same as your application. So,
Gotcha.
it just makes
Yeah.
things easier, basically.
Perfect. Okay. No worries. So I notice you've got a few more add-ons in here. So you've got, I think that's Secrets Manager. You've got Caverno policies. You've got Istio
Yeah,
Mesh.
yeah,
Yeah. What's this one here? Oh, that's Grafana, isn't it?
yeah. Oh no.
Cool. Can we maybe talk about so some of those are obviously familiar, right? Maybe Caverno is something that we can delve a little bit deeper on.
Yeah,
What is Caverno? Why is it used? And what benefits does it bring to our IDP
yeah.
scenario?
Caverno policy as a code, basically.
Okay.
So it helps you implement policies within your your ecosystem. So, for example, you can use mutating policies for example, in this example, we've used Caverna's mutating policy to inject secrets from AWS Secret Manager into pods.
Ah, okay. That's interesting.
So
Yeah.
whenever the secrets are updated in ASM,
Yeah.
like it within intervals, these secrets would automatically be injected in the pods, and then the pods
Okay.
would obviously restart. So that's one way, and another way is like you can apply like pod security policies, right?
Okay.
Like baseline and restricted policies, which
Understood.
helps you secure your applications, like your pods and your services. So that's how Caverno is used. But like I said, it comes as an add-on, and you can modify it, or you could bypass certain application from being restricted under
Oh, I
co-founder.
see what you
Yeah,
mean. Okay, yeah, because obviously not every application is going to make use of these add-ons, right? So you've got a choice of whether you want to switch them on or switch them off, depending on.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Cool.
exactly. Yeah.
Makes sense. Cool. I noticed the external secret store is sitting outside of the add-ons and extensions. Well, why is that? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, so that the ESO is installed within the cluster, which makes like
Okay.
API calls to any secret provider, essentially.
Okay.
So in this case, like AWS Secret Manager.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So that's not kind of negotiable. That is always available
yeah,
in every
yeah,
cluster,
yeah. So you
essentially.
can't really opt out of that,
That makes sense. Cool. Um, okay, cool. So let's move on to a couple of other kind of questions. So how flexible is this architecture, would you say? Because you mentioned a bunch of other tools that potentially could replace some of these tools here.
But do you mean like
So, for example, if I didn't want to use Argo CD, is it relatively straightforward to use a different tool?
oh yeah, yeah, very easy.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to use Flux CD, you can still
Okay.
you could use it because, and then obviously a lot of the work could be handled by the IDP engine. It just depends really on your requirement. But
Understood.
it's,
Yeah.
it's very easy. Like, just like the add-ons, you can just opt out of one tool and use another tool.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So it's fair to say that the solution is kind of highly customizable.
Yeah,
You can
exactly. As
customize
per
based on your needs.
requirement. Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay, cool. And what are some of the common challenges that we anticipate people might face when they're implementing an IDP solution like this?
Like, it all starts with the developers, really, isn't it? Like, you
Yeah.
have to get your developers on board, because
Yeah.
like, essentially you have to like prove to them, this is the solution that will help them.
Yes.
So this is quite difficult to, like, sway
You
developers,
got to win them
really.
over, basically, right?
Yeah.
So,
And also like teams as well,
Mhm.
different teams. It's really difficult to cater a solution for all teams, isn't it? Like, you're
Yes.
not going to be able to find a solution that is like 100% going to
100%.
solve the issues for all the teams. So you got to have that flexibility as well to be able to allow teams to maybe like bypass certain like requirements of the
Yeah.
IDP and have their own thing, but at the same time, like, follow that like standardized and
Yeah.
centralized approach.
That makes sense. I
Yeah.
guess this is especially true in like big enterprises, right, where they have a million and one ways of doing something. Perfect. Thank you very much, Mo. That was really informative. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you, guys.